Hey, what's going on, my fellow Sagittarius? Butch here. I am going to do your 1 week read. It is a general read, so it may not resonate with everyone. It is for your sun, moon, rising, and your Venus. A little hiccup there. Probably could have got away without telling you guys that, but for all you cross watchers, roles can be reversed. Always feel free to comment down below. I'm going to be using the Tattooed Tarot. And with all that being said, let's get it. Universe, what is going on? What is going on for Sagittarius, universe? What message do we have for Sagittarius? All right, Sagittarius. I kind of smiled when I was shuffling, and I just want to come clean. I was moving some stuff around. I just was redoing some stuff, doing some painting and stuff, so I packed a lot of my cards away. I had spilled some incense, like the incense sticks, in a box of my cards, and when I was shuffling, all I could smell was the incense, so that's why I kind of laughed. But anyway, just don't know why I told you that either. First thing I see, Sagittarius, I feel like this energy that I see in front of me, this is someone you already know. Now, this could be a past person or someone you're still dealing with. You know, this could be an ex or someone that you're still dealing with, but things haven't been going well. You know, I do feel like there was or is still a little bit of a chaotic energy with this person, you know, not really knowing what you're getting from this person anymore. Like I said, for some of you, it could be an ex, a fairly recent ex, because I still feel like the energy's still around, or it is someone you're still dealing with or still with that you hasn't really come to an end yet. You know, because I do feel like there's still an open end to this connection. So whether it be, like I said, an ex, someone you just broke up with, or someone that it seems to be heading that way. I mean, I feel like this person, I mean, they got a lot on their plate, and I feel like they don't tell you about it. You know, I feel like the energy that's going on with this person, the distant feeling, the feeling of they're not quite into it anymore, or they haven't really stepped up in the way that they should be at this point. We have that Eight of Swords, a self-imposed prison. I just feel like this person is dealing with a lot of shit. You know, they got a lot on their plate, and instead of telling you about it, I feel like they kind of keep it away. Partly pride, but also in a more positive direction, I feel like part of it's to kind of keep you safe from the shit that they deal with. Now, neither one of them are healthy. You know, you got to let your partner in, especially if they mean something to you, which I feel like you do. You mean a lot to this person. I mean, they think about you and only you. But I feel like I said, I feel like things got chaotic. You know, and I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. I feel like they didn't know where to start to tell you. They didn't know how to tell you. And I feel like because of this, all this shit in their head, it got polluted to where the point where they, they I mean, I just feel like they couldn't open up about it. And like I said, I mean, there is a bit of a pride to it all. Too proud to tell you, but it's also not wanting to put that on you. But there's a little bit of, and I feel like this kind of ties in with the pride thing. It's almost like they didn't want to tell you because they're afraid that you wouldn't want them anymore. I feel like stability wise, there's been something going on with this person that they haven't felt up to par lately, or have never really got to the point where they felt up to par. It's just when a relationship, especially early on, it's not as important. But when you start to see some real connection to the person, when you start to feel something more happening, you feel like you owe that person more. For example, I mean, when you first start dating someone, you both have your separate places. Whether or not you can afford your place, whether or not, you can afford to take that person out, or do things with them, is really not privy to each other. But when you start to think about moving in together, now this person's going to know, kind of get into your finances, and they're kind of realize that maybe you don't have as much as you said you did, or as much as you present yourself to have. Maybe you're not as together as you before said you were. It's not so much a lie. I feel like it's more of an omission. Not to defend this person, I just feel like that's what we're seeing here. But I mean, that's what the current energy is. But it with this person, I mean, I feel like they always saw the potential in you. That's why they were with you. They always saw the potential in this connection. I mean, I feel like there was some things they didn't see that was right in front of them. I feel like they had a hard time confiding in you. So instead of pulling you closer, it almost felt like they were pushing you away, but that's not their intention. And I feel like that may be single-handedly the biggest regret they ever had. They are regretting that decision. But I feel like things are changing for this person. I feel like this person's they're finally evolving. They're finally leveling up here. And I mean, we have the Six of Swords. I feel a lot of big changes in this person. And one of the most notable changes, I feel like, their perspective. They're seeing things differently. They're realizing that the reason this chaos is between you two, the reason why they feel like you're pushing, you're getting pushed apart, is solely because of them. They realize whatever issues you have is something that they've manifested, they've created. But now that they're starting to see things differently, I feel like their mind, body, and soul are coming together, finding balance finally. And one thing is clear is this person, I feel like they're finally ready to communicate with you, and tell you that, like I said, they either want to get back together if it is an ex, or they want kind of like a restart if you're still in the connection with them. They want to start over and do it differently because they did it wrong. I mean, they were wrong. I feel like they made some spontaneous assumptions. With that Knight of Wands, I feel like they assumed way too much and looked not enough into what was going on. Like I said, I feel like they had a lot going on. I feel like they kind of cleared their plate a bit, and I feel like they're starting to see what's really important. And what's really important is you. You know, you give them strength. You show up for them. You make them happy. You know, not only were you a lover, a companion, you know, a confidant, but you're the best friend. You know, they're stronger with you. And I feel like they're going to be bluntly truthful. You know, they're going to be very truthful because they don't want this to end. They don't want to lose what they have with you. In fact, that's the opposite of what they want to do. I mean, they want to build on it. They want to build this foundation stronger this time. And I mean, they're going to put in the effort they never put in before. You know, putting in all the work with that 10 of Wands. Because at the end of the day, they're not walking away from this. They don't want to walk away from this. They don't want to lose you. They saw the potential in you and in this connection. And that's the last thing they want to do is lose you. You know, I feel like they made some spontaneous assumptions. You know, they kind of did things a little bit wrong or a lot wrong. I feel like there's a lot of overthinking. And not to defend this person, but as Sagittarius, I feel like sometimes we can be victim of that as well. But in their heart of hearts, this person wants you. They think about you all the time. Their last, it's almost like when they felt like you were being, when they felt like you were pushing away, they didn't see that it was them that was pushing you away. So it's almost like they didn't help the situation. You know, they kind of made it easier for that distance between the two of you to get bigger. But like I said, I mean, this person wants to be with you. You know, I do see this person nurturing this connection because they see you as the person they want to share their life with. I feel like they bit off a little more than they could chew in other areas of their life. And it's almost like you were the one that they had to blame. You were the one that they, you were in the foxhole with them. And unfortunately, sometimes when you have a partner with someone, you have a relationship with someone, sometimes if you're not careful, they can get the blunt end of your sadness or depression. And I feel like the shit that they had on their plate was causing them to be very, very depressed. It was too much. They wanted to move forward with you, but it's almost like they couldn't do it. Not because they didn't want to, because they didn't think they could handle it. And I feel like a lot of it's financial. I like I said, when you're dating someone in the beginning, you both have your separate places, so you really don't get to see each other's thing. But when you move in together, you start sharing bills, you start sharing, you start sharing getting groceries, and it's what you can afford. But I mean, you can kind of hide all that or omit all that when you have your own place. But I feel like this moves forward to the place where now it's time that we start thinking about these things, getting together, maybe moving together, maybe getting married. And it just got very overwhelming for this person because it's like they've come so far, they didn't know how to go back. But like I said, they're seeing things differently now. A lot of big changes. We got that Hangman. I feel like they're going to open up more. I feel like they finally got some of their shit together, and it's almost like they don't want to be without you. And I do see more opportunities coming. Like I said, there's more possibilities with you than without you. And they want to explore those possibilities. They want to see where this goes. They want to put in the effort. They want to communicate to you. They want to be honest with you. And I feel like I said, with all that being said, there's too much shit on their plate. They feel like they're pushing you away. All that is all a ripple effect of having too much on their plate. And not being straightforward with you with it. And like I said, I mean, it's a little bit of pride. a little bit of not wanting to let you down in that pride, feeling they failed or feeling like they're a failure, and almost like they're failing and they didn't want you to see that they're failing. And the closer you get, the more exposed they become. But they're, you know, they know that they're stronger with you. They know they're happier with you. But I do see a lot of big changes. I mean, I do see a really strong connection here. I just feel like they're not, they have to be honest about it. One of the biggest things that kills relationships is not being honest, not being transparent. Loyalty, honesty, that all goes so far in a relationship. And some people underestimate it. I feel like they underestimated it. But at the end of the day, I feel like this is just a huge misunderstanding. And like I said, I mean, I do feel like they want to start fresh with you. Start in a more honest place moving forward. So if they ever had this issue again moving in the future, they won't have to be dealing with it alone. And that's part of the thing with the partnership. I mean, when you're with someone, you should be able to talk to them. You should be able to open up. You should be able to be honest with them. And if you can't, then you got to reevaluate the situation that you're in. Now with this person, this person, I do see this person wanting to fight for this. It's worth fighting for them. Now, we have Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. We have Gemini and Aquarius. Pisces, Scorpio, and Cancer. Get a little bit of Virgo, possibly some Capricorn as well. If you're not being honest, even if this read doesn't resonate, and that's the only part that resonates is the fact that you may be with someone that you're not being completely honest with for whatever reason, that shit will end your relationship. It will. No matter what, it will end it. It may not end it today. It may not end in a week. It may not end it in 10 years. But it will end it. So, I mean, it's always tomorrow's a new day. Be honest with your partner. If you love them, treat them like you love them. Treat them like you want them to treat you. Give them that respect. And win, lose, or draw, you can always say you were on the level. Because there's going to be a day. I had a cousin when I was a kid, and he's a lie to everything. He'd go to school and tell people, oh yeah, my parents are taking me to Disneyland over March break, and we all knew he wasn't going to Disneyland because he lived down the street from us. And he was like I said, I mean, he was my cousin, but I knew, but everybody else that went to school with him knew because it was a very small town, very, very small town that I grew up in, and it seems like a very small thing. He was just a kid lying. But what happened is, as he grew up, nobody trusted him. You couldn't trust someone that can never be honest and thing. And when I was doing the read, it popped in my head. I was thinking about him. I haven't been talking to him in years. I should probably look up and see how he's doing. But he ended up moving away because girls wouldn't go out with him because he was a bullshitter. Guys didn't really hang out with him because they knew he was full of shit. And that's the thing. I mean, the relevance of what I'm talking about is the fact that even in the beginning of the relationship, that early on, the adolescence of the relationship is like the adolescence of life. If you can't be trusted then, it's all going to come out. And it may not, there's a few lies that he told that didn't come out right away, and it came out later on, and it all comes out in the wash. It just depends on when laundry day is. Laundry day maybe tomorrow, and maybe a year from now, maybe 10 years from now. But the one particular thing that when I stopped hanging out with him, he was my cousin, so I kind of just, he was that kid that was full of shit, but he was your family. But I remember he told me this one lie. He stole something from somebody, and I said, you got to be honest with me, man. I got to know. Like, did you steal it? Like, if you did, give it back. I'm like, I'm your cousin, I'm your family, tell me the truth. And he swore to me, look me right in my face and swore to me, I never did it. Didn't do it. So I stuck up for him. I defended him. I got in fights over it. Years later, I found out he did it. So I stopped talking to him. And that's the relevance, is the fact that the truth may not come out today, but when it does, that's even worse. The longer that lie went on, the longer the lies go on, the day it comes out, it's just gonna get worse. But anyway, I'll stop rambling. I feel like I'm rambling now, so. But anyway, like I said, if this resonates completely, a little bit, or not at all, either way, be honest with people. Because you never have to backtrack on the truth. If anything in life, you spend your whole life being honest, you can stand on that. You can never say you weren't. And if you love someone, you got to be that way with them. Because if you can't be honest with the ones you love, who can you be? It got a little deep, but be good. Take care. Stay safe.